We're also in the process of building a brand new community cafe, which will be the first cafe in Berinsfield for a very long time.
Get Radio Breakfast with Rich Smith.
We continue the wonderful week that is Small Charities Week, learning more about the wonderful and brilliant charities across the county and the work they do. My next guest is Laura Harte, Director of the Berin Centre. Laura, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for joining us. And well, look, let's dive straight in with the Berin Centre, because this is an amazing thing, and people from Berinsfield will be turning up the radios right now.
Yeah, well, I hope so. We're very lucky to work in such a fantastic community, and we have a lot of local support. So I'm sure that I'll be gently ribbed for this morning's interview for the rest of the week.
Brilliant stuff. Well, look, just to explain exactly what the Berin Centre is, because it's taken on a lot of forms and what have you over a sort of recent years, obviously with bits and bobs having pandemic, etc., etc. And then under kind of your sort of leadership over the last few years, just explain to everyone what goes on.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a busy few years. We've actually been working in Berinsfield for more than 40 years as a charity, but it's in kind of the recent kind of 5 or 6 years that we've really taken on the form that we're in now. So when the children's centres were closed across Oxfordshire, one of them was based in Berinsfield, and it was a real shame to kind of lose that service for the local community. So local people got together and brought in this charity under this new guise to kind of take on the building and also some of those services. So we've gone from having just 2 members of staff back in 2021, running a little bit of family support and a couple of other bits and pieces, to now a team of about 7 people, all part-time. And we do a whole range of different things. So we run family services, providing lots of activities and support for parents with children aged 5 and under, and activities for those children to do. We have a range of community support. We've got a community garden where we grow food and teach people in the local community how to grow their own food. We have activities for adults, so a women's multicultural group, lawn games for older people. We have cooking groups that we've just started to pilot, and we also run a range of food support, so community larder, emergency food bank, and we're also in the process of building a brand new community cafe, which will be the first cafe in Berinsfield for a very long time.
Wow. Not often do I say just stop and just go, wow. That's an incredible thing to have in an amazing community like Berinsfield, to have that opportunity to have a place where the community, we all talk about community. Everyone talks about it and kind of goes, oh yes, the community. But having somewhere in somewhere that's not, Berinsfield's not massive, big enough, but not massive. But having something like that to kind of just to cater for absolutely everyone that kind of lives there, that can kind of come in, and whether you're under 5, like you say, or whether you need some lawn games as well. It's fantastic. The community, there must be a real sense of community and a real spirit there.
Absolutely. I mean, it's unlike anywhere else that I've ever had the privilege to work. People really do band together. It's a fiercely loyal place. But I think what we've learned is that it has to be easy to access these things. Sometimes it's because you're at a bit of a loose end and you want something positive to use to spend your time doing. But sometimes it's because actually you're in real dire straits and you need help. And if you're having to navigate lots of different places and lots of different services to do that, it's an extra challenge that you have to overcome. So making it really easy, making sure that it's on people's doorstep, that it's familiar faces, that you're not having to navigate lots of different services and understand different referral pathways and things like that. People can just turn up at the centre, and they do all the time, which is brilliant, and say, look, I need help with this, or I'm wondering, I've got an idea, can you help me with it? And they know people, there'll always be the kettle on, and they can just come in and figure it out with us. So we've learned that it really matters being local, being available, being consistent. And I think that's what we do really well. We have great relationships with local people, and everything else is built on the back of that.
No, for sure. And lots of things start with the simplest thing, which you just mentioned there, which is sometimes just a cup of tea. And to have that sort of opportunity to see friends and neighbours and see your community, that adds to that familiarity, which adds to that comfort, I guess, that yes, you can feel comfortable going to this place and just kind of relaxing and doing some doing some lovely things. But there might be that time where you arrive and go, actually, I need a bit of help here. And for those times, that safety net has already been put in place because the person's been going for months or weeks or days or what have you, to kind of see familiar faces and kind of feel comfortable enough to go from, do you want milk in your tea, to oh, actually, I'm feeling a bit down at the moment because of X, Y, Z. That's incredible.
Exactly, and I think in lots of places we've lost that. That there are communities that are trying to do things like that for themselves. There are lots of kind of community pubs and cafes and things springing up that are run by local people, and they are fantastic initiatives. But I think in terms of services like us or charities like us, there's been this push to become much more kind of specialist or much more targeted. And I think there's such a powerful thing about these universal support services, something that is available to anyone at any time and does a real breadth of different things, because it's exactly what you've described. You might come in for one thing, you might come in because you want to come and join our craft group and we're making a mosaic, and that kind of sounds interesting. But that means that a month later, when your housing is insecure or you're having difficulties with your benefits or with your job, you already know who you can go and talk to about it, and that makes it so much easier to deal with early rather than waiting until it becomes a real emergency. So I think there's something really to celebrate in these universal services that are often thought of as a bit unskilled or a bit wishy-washy. That the skills that our team have are phenomenal, and that means that local people can access a variety of help whenever they need it.
And you kind of just, we've spoken, and I've said these words on this week, literally on this week, on Small Charities Week, going, wow, it's amazing that there is a specialist service for this specialist problem that you specialize in. And that's brilliant that you're there, and that's great, and that people can have that opportunity to reach out and to have that distinct problem and have that number or have that charity to go to. But this is fascinating, and this is why I'm sort of so interested in kind of hearing about it, because everything starts with that community. You're in a community right now. Everyone listening right now is in a community where, whether you're living in Whitney like me or wherever you're listening across the county at the moment, your village is important to you. Your town is important to you. Your street is important to you. Your local pub on the corner, your neighbour's important to you. All of those things, and that's I guess where it starts. That's the embryo of what it is, and you care about all of those things. And therefore, you can have that conversation, like we go back to, should we go for a pint? Yeah, brilliant. That sounds great. Oh, actually, we need to talk about further things. I think it's a lovely idea. It's such a wonderful idea. I'm just interested, genuinely fascinated and interested about it, because that's where it all starts, at community.
Absolutely, and I think local people that are living in those villages, so like the people in Berinsfield and the surrounding area, they've got their own ideas for how they want to spend their time and what they want to see available to them. And our job, I think, is sometimes just to move barriers out the way or help get that thing started. And then often it takes on its own head of steam, and it can be really simple things like, a few years ago, we started a quiz team. There's a local organisation that runs a quiz once a month, but we had a number of people that were coming to us saying, I'm just too nervous to go in on my own. I'd really like to go, but I'm just too nervous. So we started a quiz team and we started taking people, and now we don't go anymore. They go. They've got it covered. They've got it sorted. And that's kind of what it's all about. We might create the conditions for people to be able to start the things that they want to be seeing, but then actually they can carry it on. They don't always need us. It's not about creating dependence on us as a team. It's about just making it possible for them to do the things that they want to do and that they want to see happening in their local community.
Brilliant stuff. Laura, it's been absolutely fascinating catching up and chatting with you. And people of Berinsfield, you're very lucky to have this. And if you're kind of listening to this now and going, oh yeah, I've seen what they do, or I've always thought about maybe sort of popping on. It sounds absolutely incredible. Laura, where can people find out more information? A wonderful website, and even pop in as well.
Yeah, well, and that's the first thing. We're generally there, so feel free to just turn up or give us a call. The kettle is genuinely always on. We're prolific tea drinkers, but also, we do have a website, theberincentre.co.uk, and we are on Facebook. So most of our updates, if you want to see the latest news about the cafe build or anything like that, Facebook is the place to find us. So we're just the Berin Centre, and you can check us out anytime.
Superb. Laura, really great catching up. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, and best of luck with everything that goes on at the Berin Centre. Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure to talk to you.
It's brilliant stuff. Yeah, do check out Berinsfield. Lucky to have that awesome Berin Centre there. Brilliant stuff. Hey, this is what it's all about on Small Charities Week, isn't it? Just finding out this new and different stuff like that. Love it.